Well, first off, just how excited are you for to end your career with this game and to face North Dakota State again in the national championship game?
Yeah, it's a pretty special deal. We're all excited to get back to the game in Frisco, and for it to be the last game of my career, that's pretty special, and we want to take advantage of it.
What do you kind of remember most from the 21 game? What sticks out most in your memory from that one?
I didn't go to that game, so it was I watched on TV, but it was rainy. Seemed like the field wasn't very good, and they kind of got after us that day.
Right, and you guys have talked a lot about how hungry you've been since the season ended last year. So now that you've got a chance to win it all and do it against that team that ended your season last year, just what kind of is the mentality and the motivation right now?
Yeah, the game last year definitely put a ton of motivation in us to get back to work as soon as we could. Guys were in the weight room working out 2 days later after that game, and we've been working ever since. So for it to kind of come full circle and us to meet up again in the playoffs and the national championship, it's a pretty cool deal.
Thanks, Rylan.
Let's go next to Coulter Nuanez. Coulter?
Yeah, hey Rylan, thanks for taking a minute. Coulter Nuanez, Skyline Sports. A couple for me. First of all, there was so much talk about how dominant North Dakota State has been over the years in the trenches, and you guys have made so much progress, and now you have one of the best offensive and defensive lines in all of college football. So talk about that element of it and how much that has played into your guys' success.
Yeah, I think football is a game that's won up front on both sides. So, they were definitely the dominant team for a long time, and they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and that's how they were able to go on such a good run. And I think Coach Vigen, when he came in, that was definitely a point of emphasis, is that we needed to get better up front, and he slowly but surely built us up and turned us into what we are now. And, now I feel confident that we can match up against anybody up front on offense and defense, and so that should play a huge part in it.
Just describe the way your guys' defensive front has played, especially during these playoffs. I think Kenneth Hines got sacks like 7 straight games, and obviously Brody Grebe is one of the best players in the country. So how much of those guys have sort of anchored your guys' defensive effort?
Yeah, they've been awesome. Those guys just play super hard. They all do their job, and Kenny and Brody are getting the sacks and recovering fumbles and stuff, but guys like Paul Brott and Alec Eckert in the middle just, taking on doubles, really doing their job, clearing stuff up on the second level for the backers and the safeties to fit in the run game. It's been awesome playing behind those guys.
Cam Miller, North Dakota State's quarterback, is such a savvy guy, it seems. What's your analysis of him, and what's the scout on him for your guys' defense?
Yeah, he's obviously a really good player. He's very experienced, played a lot of games, won a lot of games, can throw the ball, but he can also get out and hurt you with his feet. So we got to make sure that we're assignment sound, and on the back end try to confuse him with some looks and see if we can let our rush get to him and make him make mistakes.
And Bryce Lance, number 5 for North Dakota State, he's really come on. I thought he was just so fun to watch these last couple of weeks. So how dangerous is he, and then what's sort of the first steps to slowing a receiver like that down?
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. He's been making a bunch of plays for them. The first step is knowing where he's at every play, and kind of they try to disguise it a bunch of different ways and get him in positions that they like and find matchups that they like. So if we just are aware of where he's at, what he's trying to do, and I'm confident with our guys on the perimeter and outside that can go match up with him and go make plays.
And last one from me, just the sort of culmination of all of this, and then knowing that this is your last college football game, and then you get a chance to do it on the biggest stage. What's that mean to you, just as a senior captain on this team?
Yeah, it means everything to me. Just going all the way from 21 till now, and all that this team has been through, and that we've really come together this year and stuck together as this senior class, and brought this whole team to where we are now. It's a pretty special time. It's just taking advantage of, this is the first time that we have like a finite number of days together. So taking advantage of the time that we get with each other, these snowy practices we got here, and really just enjoying the moment and going down there and keeping the main thing, but enjoying each other as well.
Tommy Mellott has joined, as you can see. Eric Peterson, you're up next.
Just question for Tommy. Tommy, just, what you've seen on NDSU's defense and just film study, what kind of challenges do they present for your offense?
Yeah, I think personnel, they're very solid all the way around. They play very complementary with the front end and the back end. They take care of business, up front to make it a little bit easier on the guys behind there in both the run and the pass game. And they're very, they do change it up. I think there's other teams that are, very based in a specific coverage, and they just say we're going to do it better than you. And I think that these guys, even take away third down stuff. I think that they're, they mix it up enough to make it difficult on you, make points difficult for the O-line and possible pressures all the time with their too high looks, and they roll it down. And then the third down, they got a pretty elaborate package, so it's great to be able to break these guys down and really evaluate them.
Just describe, it seems kind of rare in this day and age, you're at Montana State through your senior year, at Cam Miller at NDSU for your senior year. Just describe two programs or quarterbacks stayed around where, maybe other spots guys have left. I mean, what does that say, I guess, about both programs?
For me, yeah. I mean, I think obviously growing up in Montana, I wanted to always go to Montana State. I wanted to be part of the Cats, wanted to wear the blue and gold, and so there wasn't going to be an option outside of that I would ever consider to leave, and just a privilege and a blessing to play here with the seniors that I have, and also the guys that have left before me and are obviously going to continue on after me. It's just been an honor and a privilege to play with those guys. They love this program, they love playing football, and that's why they play here. It's not about money, it's about going out there and playing football, and that's what it should be about.
Thank you.
Let's go next to Stephen Hawkins.
Hey, Rylan, I know he's sitting there right next to you, but, you just talked about two different quarterbacks that have stayed. What has Tommy really meant to this program, and what have you seen in his development as he's grown into their role?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to 2021, me and Tommy were running down on kickoff next to each other and covering punts and everything. So kind of growing up all the way from that to, him really starting his first game against UT Martin in those playoffs and taking off from there. It's been awesome to watch. Tommy's one of those dudes that just does everything right, and he's not going to ask anybody to do anything that he's not going to do himself. And so he's in here every day working to get himself better, make other people better, and he's really brought guys along with him. And I think that's been a huge thing to our team and really helped us this year.
Tommy, for you, is this almost a full circle moment, though, because we know what happened and you didn't get to finish that game because of the injury, but what have you learned, and as you look back, how much does it mean to get this opportunity to kind of finish it off there, kind of where it almost started?
Yeah, absolutely. Freshman year was a whirlwind. There's a lot of things that I didn't know much about football at that point. It was just going out there and making plays, and ultimately I think we made enough to make it to that game, and I think we were really just kind of hanging on. And I think that we're in a lot different situation this year. But no, it absolutely is. I was sitting on the sideline after I immediately did it, and I just wasn't able to plan or really move, and that was really what my ability was. And so as I sat on the sideline, just kind of hobbled and had to sit out and watch our seniors who, have sacrificed so much and blood, sweat, and tears into this program to build it up to what it was at that moment, and just see, obviously the end of their careers come at, the hands of North Dakota State. It was, and just, knowing I couldn't do anything was an awful feeling. And when I walked out the field, it was just a feeling of, are we ever going to be able to get back here in the 4 years? Is this taken for granted at this moment? And, ever since that, it's really just been, motivation to earn the right to go back and play in a national championship game. And so I do think it's fitting we get to play North Dakota State again.
I was about to say, I guess it couldn't be any more fitting that is the opponent you're playing.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, man.
Let's go to Keith Globally.
Hey guys, Keith Globally, Bobcat Sports Radio Network. Got a question for both of you guys. Just simply, what are you guys going to miss most about your football routine, that week to week, day to day? What are you guys going to miss most?
Go ahead. You go first.
The week to week routine, we gotta, every morning we, me and my roommate Rylan Ortt and a couple other guys and Marcus, we get here pretty early and we get in the tubs and kind of warm up and just chop it up with some guys. So I would say just the relationships and, just kind of those little moments where you're just messing around with your friends and talking about stuff, and the locker room moments are definitely the best part.
Yeah, and I have to second that for sure. Just any of those moments, after practice, obviously hard-fought practices a lot of times in the winters here at Montana State. But there's so much fun when you got to go inside and go put on some music and go enjoy hanging out with each other, going and grabbing your breakfast burrito and just kind of sitting down and just enjoying each other.
And finally, Tommy, do you have a favorite touchdown you've scored in your career to this point?
The next one. No, I wouldn't say I have one. No, I'm just excited to keep playing football. It's a privilege and a blessing for sure to be able to play into January. So just focus on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go to Dom Izzo. Dom?
Thanks, Bill. Tommy, just tell me about this. I asked Cam this, that your career has kind of been interspersed with each other. I mean, you played as a freshman, I know, in the championship game last year. Just describe how it's crazy in this era of the portal that 4 years together, you guys are now playing for the third time against one another.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just his earlier comment as well. I mean, I think we have two programs that have been very successful. And, I think both programs play football for the right reasons. And, it's not it's subjective to, or it's contingent upon, different incentives that the team presents. It's just, the guys love playing for each other and they enjoy playing football. And ultimately, I guess Cam sees it the same way. And so I think it's the right way to play football. And so, obviously I think I'm excited to go up against him. And I think, ultimately I don't get to play against him, but our defense does. And so I'm excited for them to see the success.
I know you're in the submarine. You're worried about your own team. Have you followed from afar, just seeing each you guys up for the paint and you're both going to be there Saturday night? That's really unique. Are your games similar at all?
I feel like I've watched enough about North Dakota State's offense. I think it's changed quite a bit as he's progressed as a quarterback, and I have to imagine it's been somewhat similar here at Montana State. I think that we have things that we do similarly and different. I think that we're based upon the same thing. Our offenses are, and that's establishing the run, but then being able to be efficient passing, throwing the ball. And so I think we both kind of have those same mentalities as well.
My last thing for you, and this is for both you guys, it seems like you guys have played angry this year after how last season ended. Is that accurate? Can you describe, going even back to the New Mexico game, can you describe the temperament of how you played this season?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say it's been an angry, like it's like we got to get back at all these people. We owe them something. I think that it's more for the guys around us and the guys that have stayed here despite the struggles that we had last year, that endured those things with us, that had to go look themselves in the mirror last year on whatever it was, December 4th, and say, man, we're done playing football already. Like, what is going on? Like, we got to figure this out. And the guys that decided to come back and really stuck it out and saw it through, and just a love for those guys and just the hardship that we have faced together. I just don't think that there's anything that's going to get in our way of causing us to doubt one another. It's just I think that's kind of the mentality that we've had this year.
Rylan?
Yeah, I would second that. I don't think it's based on anger at all. It's based on the love for each other, the love for this program, for this state, and for the guys in that locker room, and just knowing that everything that we've been through, and that we kind of decided to collectively come together, and we don't want that to happen again. And so everyone banded together and is just playing for each other, and that's what it's all about.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Grace Lawrence, you're up.
Awesome. My first question's for Tommy. I'm working on a feature on Cole Sane. I'm just curious with how special the senior season kind of was for him moving into center, just kind of your relationship with him and how special this last year has been for him and his journey.
Yeah, Cole, I think, got here the same time as I did, but he had obviously a much different route. He actually ended up going to the other team in Montana, and then he left there for reasons that we all know of. And then he went on to a JUCO and decided to come back to Montana State. He's a guy who's, his family grew up in Montana, so he wanted to make sure he came back. And, he's had, quite a few injuries that have, limited his play. He certainly has played in the past, but, ultimately just doing everything he possibly could. And at every, I think he's a guy that really takes care of himself too. I don't think these injuries have just been unfortunate. I think he takes care of himself like nobody else, nutrition-wise, stretching-wise, lifting-wise, all those different factors. And so I think it's just, it was a lot of bad luck there in previous years. And so just seeing him being able to step up and really, get after it and be a huge contributor and a huge, just a leader within that offensive line room who's, I think the best in the nation is incredible. Just to have guys step up like that in a program like this means the world. And, personally, I think the world of Cole. He's a great guy. And so I'm excited to, obviously get to continue to play with him. But it's been a privilege to see him, go and dominate this year.
Awesome. And then my last question for both of you, just what has Coach Vegan meant to this program, and what have you learned most from him over this journey you guys have had with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go first. No, Coach Vegan's been a great mentor to me. I think he's a guy, a few words, but the words that he does say are very calculated and very intentional. And I think he's a very loving individual, but he's extremely thoughtful with that as well. And so just, being able to be a part of a team that, he leads, it just gives you so much motivation to do everything you possibly can for him and also his family. I feel like, Molly, she's been great in my life and in my family's life. And so I just think that it's just a whole package. And obviously, Jake being part of this program and kind of involving some of his younger kids as well has been really special. So, I think you get a full package deal with him as a mentor, as a coach here. And, obviously X and O's, he's a genius, but it goes so far beyond that. And, I've really appreciated the opportunity that he gave me to play here at Montana State. And so then I'll never forget. So I'm very grateful for the Vegan family.
Yeah, Coach Vegan's meant so much to this program and to me personally. He is a quiet guy, but when he talks, it means people listen because he's going to say something that's intentional and very thoughtful, and that it's going to be good. And he's just done so much for me. I was a walk-on, and he put me on scholarship, and he stuck with me through a lot of things throughout my career, and that's meant everything to me. And he really brings a family culture of toughness and hard work, discipline, and all that. But he does really care about every single individual on this team, and I think that's something super special about him.
Let's go to Greg Rockhutch.
Thank you, Bill. For Tommy, I'm just curious, what it's like playing quarterback, now versus maybe that original playoff run in 2021, and just how much the game has really slowed down for you. Can you describe what that's been like?
Yeah. Coming out of high school, I felt like I had some good coaching for sure. But high school football is a lot more, you just kind of go and make plays. And so ultimately that was what, they saw out of me, and they wanted to give me a shot with that. So that artistic piece to playing quarterback was essentially all that I really had my freshman year. And so really since then, it's kind of been a battle, to obviously make it more of a science, with numbers and stuff like that. And so I've really learned a great amount from, coordinators that I've had. Coach Walker this year, Coach House right before, and Coach Vegan as well has played a huge role in understanding numbers really in run game and in pass game, protections, all that sort of thing. So certainly understanding those things have also obviously it's a great thing, but it can also paralyze you at times because obviously defense, that's what they try to do is make it confusing with numbers. And so it's been great to try to find that happy medium between it being a science and an art, and, obviously trying to obviously know the numbers, but then when it doesn't, you can extend plays and make things that defenses don't account for difficult on them. So I think that it's certainly slowed down, but I just have just enjoyed it a lot. So just been enjoying the process of it all.
And then how satisfying is it for you to have been able to kind of come of age a little bit, in the passing game this season, maybe compared to the previous three?
Yeah. I think that there's definitely been ups and downs in the past and this year as well. And so, but it's been exciting to, extend what our offense is and make us much more dynamic. I think we have always had guys on the perimeter, and I think it's just been designing opportunities and being, being a multitude of ways to get those guys the ball. I think Coach Walker's done a great job of that, and I think that his belief in me has gone, very far. And so I've I think last year to the biggest downfall was just my lack of ability to be out on the field. And so being healthy for one this year and obviously continuing that growth has been very important.
Thank you.
All right, we have three hands up, so we'll start with Victor and then finish with Coulter and Austin. Victor?
Yeah, for Tommy, we talked about the missing the 21 game with an injury, but last year too, obviously, was one you left in the fourth quarter with an injury. So, how much was that kind of on your mind, and how did you kind of, what was your vantage point? How did you watch the rest of that game from the sideline last year?
Yeah, no, it was extremely unfortunate. When you put it all on the line like that, there's times where that happens, and so it's something that is part of my game, and that's, I play this game with passion, I play this game with love, and I put it all on the line for the guys around me, and ultimately it was just unfortunate how that kind of came down last year. I think I ended up sitting out there for one drive or two drives on offense. So, but no, I mean, it was just going around and motivating guys to keep getting it done, because I think that we obviously had a lot of good things going on, and ultimately we had so many opportunities to close that game out, and it just seemed like we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. But I think that it's a game that you play with love and you don't ever regret anything. So that one, it was unfortunate how our season came to an end last year. But like I said, it was something that we all looked ourselves in the mirror afterwards and said, man, if are we going to stick this thing out? And the guys that did, that wanted to come back, it grew our strength and our bond among each other. And so I think it's been a great thing for us.
Yeah, and the last one for me, just for Rylan, your reaction after the semifinal win, this last one, kind of maybe how it compared to 21, but just your overall feelings after going back to punching another ticket to Frisco.
Yeah, I was super happy just to be able to, like Tommy said, like in 21 when that game was over, it was kind of the question of like, will we be able to make it back there? Or were we taking it for granted? And we came up short in 22 and 23, and so earning our spot back on that plane down to Frisco was a super special moment, and I'm ready to get down there with these guys.
Coulter?
Tommy, just three for me quickly here. First of all, I know we've asked you a lot about Adam Jones, but the fact that there's two sort of star freshman running backs in this game, one on either side, how difficult is it as a freshman to get to this point in the season and still be a productive player and endure what both those running backs have endured at a physical position like that?
No, absolutely. I think that's a great point to make. Being able to play, and this season, including adding another game to our season, on top of being a freshman young guy. But I think it's just a testament to what Adam did in the offseason. What Coach Herron has him do. He puts his heart and mind to it. Trains extremely hard, and those physically breaking down your body during lifts, during runs like that, prepares you for the beatdown that is a season. And so he obviously did that all throughout the entire winter and the entire summer. And also, on top of that, did everything he could to take care of himself. And so that kind of just set a good baseline into the season. So he kind of knew how to take care of himself. And I think he's done a great job with that. He's a smart runner. And I think, beyond all the physical things is too, emotionally, just as a young guy who really hasn't played, going into the year and being able to play now into a 16th game in the season is extremely special, and it's just a testament to I'd say certainly his family and how they raised him, how we run things here at Montana State with our strength program and just as. But I also think that he's just a tough kid and he gets stuff done. So I think it's just a testament to him as well. So.
And last one, I guess I'll wrap it into just one question. The fact that this is your last college football game, what does that moment mean to you? And does it seem fitting that it's North Dakota State on the other side?
Yeah, last game. I know Ortt talked about it earlier, just that finite. We finally have a finite number of days, and every other week in this playoffs, it's always been, nothing's guaranteed beyond. So it was, you had the finite number of, 5 or 6, whatever you want to look at it, starting there on Sunday. But now, we have a date and we know when, the last 60 minutes of football are going to be for our college career. And so it's definitely a blessing that we've been able to extend it as far as we have and have the max number of games. And on top of that, be able to play a week 0 game to extend the season even longer. It's something that, I just take great pride in being part of this program. And so as many weeks as we possibly could get together, I was working and I was praying that we'd have that opportunity, and it ultimately has come. So I don't think it's, anything that I'm going to become emotional about, before the game or being worried about during the game. Because I think it's, sort of a testament to this team and just being able to earn that last game for, all of our seniors. But it certainly is a blessing to be able to go and play, a team like North Dakota State, where they have always been, a team that's been competing for national championships, and for us to go over there and really give them everything we can, and I'm just very excited to have that opportunity to go play them down in Frisco.
Austin finishes up.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, Rylan. First one for you. Brody kind of spoke about this, and Tommy too, but he talked about the seniors and leaders drawing a line in the sand last year after that game. But just from your perspective, what really changed focus level wise for you guys to really adapt that want-to-know mindset and take this program to the next level?
Yeah, I think the main thing we focus on is we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We can't be in January worried about next January. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at the day ahead of us. We got to attack that day and go 1-0 each day. And so we went 1-0 during winter conditioning, and then we attacked spring ball, and then we went into summer workouts, and then we went to fall camp, and then we just go week by week. And so I just think that we did a good job of not getting ahead of ourselves every week, resetting and going back to work. You got to be about the process. And, I think the main thing was the seniors, and this whole team has really fallen in love with that process. And, every Monday showing back up, restarting, getting to know the opponent, and by Saturday going out and trying to execute it as good as we can. And so we've just really stacked days and, kept our focus pretty tunnel vision.
For you again, Rylan, we've talked about the Sentinel to Montana State pipeline a lot, but now that you've kind of had time to think about it over the holidays, and you continue to see guys make plays from Missoula, from Sentinel, just how special has that been to have guys from the school that you went to now making plays?
Yeah, it's awesome. Guys like Zach and Adam just going out and making plays and being from Missoula. And we take great pride in being Bobcats and coming here to Montana State and representing this university and this program, and especially because we are from Missoula. And so, when I see those guys make plays, it makes me super happy because I felt like I might be a small part of them coming over here and wanting to be a part of a program like this. And especially when we get to go back in Missoula and hold our heads high and put our Bobcat sweatshirt on and walk around that town, it definitely means something to us. So, I've enjoyed it a lot.
That purple and white to blue and gold connection is pretty special.
Last one for both of you guys. Tommy, you kind of just spoke on it a little bit, but just overall in general, now you've been home for the holidays for a little bit, how special has this run been for both of you guys?
Yeah, like I said, it was, going into the season, going into my senior year, knowing that this was going to be, the end of my college career. It was always, I wanted to extend it as long as I could. All the previous years, obviously I wanted to do the same thing, but, and I gave everything I could. And so I think that, it's just been a blessing to be able to, actually see that come to fruition here as my senior year and play as much football as I possibly can because, I love this game and I love playing it. I love playing here at Bobcat Stadium. I love playing in the blue and gold. Everything about it. It's a great program, great culture. And so, being able to make it to a national championship game is one thing. And so I think, obviously, I'm not going to say was our goal, though. We're excited to go down there and play and play a team who's, like I said, has always been, the standard here at the FCS level. So I think that's what we're about, and I think that's what we're excited to go show on national television.